Well, hello and welcome to another edition of the Road Hub International podcast. This time we are in the field at APSCON in Phoenix and looking at all things airborne law enforcement, search and rescue, there's firefighting, there's all manner of stuff. It's not just the bears in the air here. But I'm here on the CENTUM stand this morning. Very lucky to be here because not only do they have comfy chairs, and chairs are a shortage here, I have to say, but I've got Luis Muñoz, who is the Regional Sales Director for North America and Latin America for CENTUM, who is here to chat with us this morning, which is good news because, Luis, I know a lot about the LifeSeeker system, but for the people listening, it may be something completely new to them. So can you just give us a taste of what the system is and what it does, and indeed how it does it?
Sure. So good morning. My name is Luis Muñoz. I want to, before going in deeply into LifeSeeker, I want to give a little background on what the company CENTUM actually is. CENTUM is located in Spain, northwest Spain, in Vigo, in Galicia, and it's a company that designs, develops, and markets mission-critical systems for emergency, security, defense, and aerospace sectors, right? And within those, we have several products that are, as you mentioned, the LifeSeeker, which are more for search and rescue, natural disasters, actual border control scenarios. And then we have another one, which is called CELAIR. The CELAIR is more of a private network that first responders could use so that no one interferes during their missions. They can actually talk externally, but it's more for them to have a private network. But the LifeSeeker is our key product. It is airborne based. You can have it on a drone. You can integrate it into any kind of a fixed rotary wing as well as a fixed wing, right? We have several customers for both drones as well as helicopters and fixed wing throughout the world. What it does is it is a system that detects and geolocates SIM cards, right? Cell phones obviously is the biggest beacon there is in the world, and all of them have a SIM card. But there are other SIM cards, like your iWatch has a SIM card. Even your car that has an OnStar system has a SIM card. So we detect and geolocate SIM cards. How do we do that? Is LifeSeeker is basically, in a very simple terms, a fake tower.
Okay.
So initially it was designed for no network areas. As long as your phone is on, not in airplane mode, it's always going to be trying to transmit and always going to try to connect to a tower. So if you're in a no network area and we fly in with our tower, phones will connect to us.
So that way there's a tower,
it will connect to us, and that way we will be able to detect that phone. And with our algorithm in our software, we can fly around and actually geolocate and give a precise geolocation of where that cell phone is. So people that are search and rescue responders can actually verify where that person is. Now, we also have the system for rural areas where there's more network. So what we do is we perform a scan of the area, and then we replicate the most attractive configuration out there so that the cell phones will connect to us.
Yes, right. Okay, because I was going to wonder how that, why would it select you as the tower?
Correct.
Inverted commas, rather than another
exactly station. So we replicate the most attractive, so that's why we connect
and essentially spoof the phone into thinking
exactly. So but there's different kind of missions that we can perform, right? Mm-hmm. Search and rescue, normally you're looking for a particular person, and that's because someone is called and say John Smith is missing.
Yeah.
His telephone number is X, Y, and Z, but his carrier is, for example, T-Mobile.
Yeah.
So you're able to call the search and rescue or first responders to call T-Mobile to get the IMSI number, which is the SIM card number of that person. And with that, we input that IMSI number within the system, and we'll start flying to detect. Other phones are going to try to connect to us because we are a tower, right? But we're looking only for that particular IMSI number.
Yeah.
All the rest will be rejected, right?
So what happens in a scenario where it's an unknown individual? You know that there's, someone says, "Oh, these guys, these hikers are overdue," and maybe they're from a resort or something, and the resort doesn't know the number, doesn't know anything like that. How can you define and say, okay, that is?
So there's another mission that can be formed, is that we can allow all cell phones,
Right.
So we can fly in an area and we can detect how many cell phones are in there. Now, as I mentioned before, it's a fake tower. As a tower, we can only replicate one carrier at a time.
Right.
So we will act as a T-Mobile tower, and as we're acting as a T-Mobile tower, it will say, okay, I've detected 3 or 4 cell phones in this area. Then, as Verizon, there is 10 more on this area. So we have been able to detect how many cell phones are in the area. If you're looking for someone that's lost, etc., most likely that person is at night and you're flying around and you'll find those cell phones, right?
Yeah, because it's reduced activity, background activity or whatever. Yeah.
Now, additionally, the system, what it can do, it can deny cell phones. Why do I mean by this? Because if there's a search and rescue team out there, what you can say to them is, and you know your IMSI number of those cell phones, is deny the search and rescue team's cell phones so that when it's flying out, all that is doing is detecting other phones that are not the team.
Yeah.
So that way you know the phones that are being detected are not ours.
Right.
So it helps on the search.
So it helps narrow the search and all that kind of thing.
Exactly.
And I guess there's a sort of secondary application away from the search idea by being able to do that is if you have, for example, I don't know, let's say this time of year, of course, wildfires are on the rise, all across southern Europe and, of course, here in North America. You know, where you say an evacuation order has been issued for a certain area, and you want to make sure that everybody, is there anyone left, or do you have to send in a team to, knock on those houses and whatnot?
Exactly. So what you could do is you fly with a system, and as I mentioned before, you can detect how many cell phones are out there. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, as it's an emergency system, even though you sent out a broadcast out before, you can, with the LifeSeeker, you can also send a broadcast through the phones are out there.
Okay.
To tell them emergency, get out, or go north or whatever.
Okay.
That you can also do.
So it can be that proactivity.
You can do
it's
that
not
as
even
well.
just saying there are still people there. It's actually communicating with them and saying, look, your route, you've got to leave and your best route is to the north
Exactly.
or this road or that
you can
road
broadcast the message to them. Right? And then once you're flying and you've detected them, once you detect them, you do get the IMSI number and IMEI number of the person. Then you can actually say, okay, record that number, and with that number, I start trying to connect with that person directly. I set up a new mission, and I'm basically saying, I'm going to look for that phone, I'm going to connect with that phone, and I'm going to talk to that person saying, do you have any issues? Are you able to evacuate?
Can you evacuate? Do you need assistance? All those kind of things. The whole thing is, the important thing to understand about, this system is it's not theoretical. It's in use. And it's scoring wins and scoring saves. That what are the numbers up to now of lives saved since the system started to be introduced?
We've saved over 200 people already. Mm-hmm. There's been a lot of missions that have been successful. Over 200 missions, a lot of saves. I can actually tell you a couple of them recently with one of our customers in Canada. There was a bad weather conditions. Normally when it's search and rescue, difficulties are the weather, right? And it was someone that was with a motor ski in Labrador territory, and they reported the person missing. And obviously it was bad weather. The search and rescue team, if they went out, they did not know where to go. It's such a big area. So they called in the Air Force that has our system, and with their C-130, they were able to fly, detect where that person is, and give them a more precise location so that the search and rescue team can actually save time on where they're looking and go directly to where that person was. And they saved that person.
And they saved the person. And that's the name of the game fundamentally is find and rescue.
In Europe, we've had there was a call in that there was an old lady missing. Their family called in. It was a 79-year-old lady. It was missing, and they went out to search and rescue them. Without the LifeSeeker, with a normal helicopter, after 4 hours, 5 hours, they were able to find them. So they activated Riga, which is one of our customers that has a helicopter with the LifeSeeker. They flew out, and the mission lasted 1 hour in total. Mm-hmm. But the detection of that cell phone was within 3.5 minutes.
Okay.
And the geolocation within 5.5. So within 5.5 minutes, we already knew where that person was. and we found out that that person had had a car accident in a ditch. He wasn't able to get there, so we were able to save.
Yeah.
Save
But,
a life
this
as well.
is the thing, though. When you said talking about, it's all about the search part of SAR. That reducing that time. It's a game changer, really, isn't it? Because one of my hobbies is I sail, and on the boat we have an EPIRB and everything like that, and that's fine. But not everyone's going to have those sort of things, but almost everybody has a cell phone. That's, so effectively everybody has their personal locator beacon, but it's reducing that time, and so making the argument, and it's a harsh thing to say, but it comes down to dollars and cents in the final analysis. The time spent with an asset out searching, carrying out a traditional box search or whatever, maybe without any effect. It's like the case with the lady in Switzerland, and versus 3 minutes.
Correct. I mean, it saves operational costs for our customers, right? To save lives, but it additionally provides them more security and less risk to actually go out there because they know where that person is and they can plan ahead how to get there.
How to get there and that kind of thing. And again, yes, it is. That's a good point I hadn't thought of. It's not just about rescuing the casualty in a prompt and quick manner. It's also about protecting the rescue team and not having even more casualties on the hillside or wherever that need to
especially
need to be
when
extracted.
most of these people who go out there to save lives or rescue are all volunteers.
Or volunteers as well, yeah.
Right. So if you give them a much easier location and they can actually plan accordingly, they can actually
reduce
de-risk
their own risk.
Their risk, right?
Yeah, for sure. So, but let's move a little bit away from that SAR function and think about the applications you mentioned in border patrol and border security. It's something that here in the US, certainly in Europe, it's a very high priority question.
Right. So one of the missions that we can perform with the LifeSeeker is, as I mentioned before, when I said that you can reject the cell phones or the IMCI SIM cards of your team, you can actually also say, on a border control, for example, we're talking about in the U.S., the border between Mexico and the U.S., you can say, reject all U.S. cell phones.
Right.
And it will detect everything that is not U.S. That way you know what's coming in.
And then you know who, what, where, why, and what volume. Yeah. It's as simple as that.
We're talking about, because I know one of the biggest issues that are out there is data privacy, etc. We do not know who that person is.
No.
All we know is a number. It's a SIM card number, and that's all that LifeSeeker detects. It's a SIM card number.
Yeah.
If you think about in terms of data privacy issues, and you have a little pyramid from the bottom to the top is more invasive from the bottom, less invasive on the top. You would say TikTok in the bottom.
Yeah.
It's very basic. It's all your information.
Yeah.
And then let's say the day-to-day cell towers. Those cell towers have more information that we have. Yeah. All we need is the IMCI number. Yeah. With the IMCI number, we are able to detect and geolocate that SIM card that we're looking for.
You're right. So, yeah.
It's border control, we can do it that way.
Yeah.
If you actually know who you're looking for, but you don't know the actual IMCI number, but you know the carrier, you can also say, I want to look for this kind of carrier, this country, and that way you know.
That way you're sort of
narrow the number of phones that are we coming through,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Amber Alerts, for example, there's another mission that I could done. All our cars, our modern cars, have a SIM card in them.
Yeah.
The OnStar system, emergency, when you call, you're calling with a SIM card.
Okay.
It may not be a US SIM card because it's a foreign car, and it may be a SIM card from India or from Holland, but it's a SIM card that we can detect.
Right.
And those Amber Alerts that you're going out and saying, hey, that Toyota Tundra white license plate, blah, 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 Amber Alert, kidnapping, what? If you knew that IMCI number, you could go out and detect and geolocate.
You could just go and find it, yeah.
They just need the system. A lot of agencies have seen it. The only issue is that sometimes they need to have the budget to get that.
Yeah. I mean, it's that whole thing, isn't it? The world is almost like, in this case, it's divided into two people. The people who are lost and want to be found, and the people who are lost and don't want to be found. And it's that application. How do you use it to protect national borders or seek people who have made off from somewhere they shouldn't have or whatever.
Correct.
And tracking down. Let's talk about some of those aspects with the other products of, with the trigger system, or the you mentioned about having the law enforcement applications.
So law enforcement application, I mean, you can use this as a law enforcement application in the sense that you are looking for a particular person.
Yep.
And what we will do is the system will give you the geolocation of that SIM card. Law enforcement then will be using a different kind of laser gun to actually find, for example, if it's in a building, we can't tell you exactly what level
right.
of it is. We can tell you that the person is here at this location, but then the law enforcement with another system is able to laser tag where it's on the third floor.
Yeah,
right?
Sure.
I mean, it all depends on if law enforcement sometimes near warrants and they have that, they're able to issue them or not. But LifeSeeker is a system that, as it says, search and rescues. Especially not only the search, is that rescues.
Yeah.
If you need to rescue someone that's being kidnapped or someone that is threatening someone in a mall, you're actually performing a rescue in any case.
It's still a rescue.
Right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's how a system can work.
It is extraordinary. The more I listen to this about the system, its capabilities, and those stories, well, we did this and this happened and this person was saved or this person was detected and all of that sort of thing, just reinforces in my mind, the extraordinary elements of the system. And you can see it here today because since we've been talking on the stand here, there's been a constant stream of people visiting the stand and being very interested in what it is and what it can do, and I think that says a lot.
Correct. And so there's a couple of things that I used to work before CENTUM with Airbus. I was 23 years working with Airbus, and I joined CENTUM. And one thing that really appreciates, I value from this company is we are providing a system to save lives. That's something that it's very special, right? And not only that, we're helping our first responders to do so. And I think that little additional point of being able to support our first responders that risk their lives to do that is a little way of me helping them, right? It makes me proud of.
Makes you very proud of what you're doing,
what we're doing, and stuff like that. Right?
And
so it's a real amazing system that can help a lot in our first responders.
That's the extraordinary thing. So there you have it, everyone. It's not just a system. It has that ability to make people's lives better. For the lost that get found in good time, it changes their lives. It changes the lives of their nearest and dearest, and that is something you probably can't put a price on. Luis, thank you very much for spending the time this morning. Unfortunately, we're beaten by the clock again. It went by very quickly. But thanks again for your time this morning. I know it's been busy and lots of people at the stand. So thanks very much for the time and your input.
Thank you, and it was a great opportunity. I appreciate it.
That's been another episode of the Road Hub International podcast. Join us again next time when we'll be talking things vertical lift. Until then, fly straight, fly level, keep the blue side up, and stay safe.